What's going on, guys? Welcome to this video, and today I want to do something again a little bit different. There's some things that I've been wanting to share about this car, and there's some things I love about it, and there's some things I hate about the car. And in this video I'm going to talk about 5 things that I really love about my Dodge Challenger Hellcat Redeye. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about, and it has to be my #1 thing about this car and why you should get one too if you're looking to get one, is the Supercharger whine is unmatched. There's no sound like it, and it puts a smile on my face every single time. It's really a unique sound, and yes, other cars have superchargers, but they don't make the same sound, and you know, it screams performance. Yeah, a lot of people you know, talk smack about Dodge for its build quality, and they talk smack about how cheap the parts are and how the car feels. But you know, I don't know if it's that I'm a fanboy, but just the car itself overall feels good to me, as this being the only sports car that I've ever owned. And you know, the mix of the supercharger whine and the exhaust in the back, that low verbal V8, it's just something that you gotta experience, right? And it's something that, in my opinion, is better than any turbocharger. And I know that might be controversial to a lot of people, but the turbo is good in its own way, and the supercharger is good in its own way. But in my opinion, the sound that comes from the supercharger is unmatched. Yes, I've heard regular turbos before, and I've seen really big ones and all that, but for me, my #1 is the supercharger. Now, for those of you that say that the turbos, that they are way better sounding than a supercharger, then you just haven't experienced being inside of one, or you haven't even heard of one at all. You've just seen it in videos. It's definitely a sound that you gotta listen to and experience at least once to really understand what it feels like. It's really unique. My second favorite thing about the Challenger, and this has been one thing that I've always loved about the Challenger itself, is that it still maintains that old school look. It has that aggressive front end with the really long grille, and it has a really aggressive stance. And it could be more aggressive, the stance itself, because the car is a bit high, but as a stock car, it really gives me that old school, you know, muscle car vibe, and it's one of the things that made me gravitate towards getting a Challenger Hellcat instead of any other car, because I could have gotten an M5, I could have gotten some other type of car in the same price range, maybe even a 718, right? A Porsche 718, or even a Cayman, right? But for me, the looks of this car and just the whole old school type esque that Dodge tried to put on this car is what made me want to buy this car. It's not the best looking car in the market, it's just one of my favorites. It's definitely one of my top 5, especially with the Redeye hood, which is now standard in other hoods as well, in other Hellcats as well, like the regular Hellcats. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's standard, but I know that when this dual snorkel hood came out. When it came out, it was unique to the Redeye, and I think it was 21 when they started making the dual snorkel hood for regular Hellcats as well, not just the Redeye versions. And the Superstock has this hood as well, but you know, it's also good that it's functional. A lot of cars have non-functional hood scoops, and this car also has that functionality, and it's not just for looks. You know, another thing I really love about this car, and it's not particular to this car because I'm pretty sure a lot of other car builds, a lot of other type of cars will also get this, but you start a lot of conversations with people and it gets a lot of looks. Like, a lot of people notice it because it's loud, it's aggressive, and it's the tow red on it, it really shines, so it turns a couple heads. And you know, when I'm parking in some places, sometimes it brings up some conversations, and you get some really cool stories from people about how when they were younger they would have a car like this, like Firebirds and Chargers and all that, and they would race and they would, you know, get into all these problems with the police. You know, I've heard a couple of those. And actually, a place that I'm going to right now, which is I'm going to pick up my cousin's car, which is in the mechanic said that he used to have a Firebird, and it would just run from the cops all the time, and they would do crazy stuff because back then, you know, it was easier to get away from the cops, or there was less, it was harder for them to catch up with you, or they had less technology and all that. But yeah, it brings up a lot of pretty funny and pretty cool stories, and I really love that about the car because it and I also love being able to just do that, and the camera will never do it justice, but that sound is pretty crazy. And even with the young generation, when it comes to like kids, they're always telling me, oh, that's a car I saw in Fast and Furious, and when you're talking a little bit older, around my age, they're always asking about, you know, how fast the car is, and when I tell them, oh, it's a Redeye, they get even more amazed, and they're like, wow, you know, I've never seen a Redeye. I've always seen just the regular ones, and some people didn't even know about the Redeye, so a lot of them, it's the first when they hear or even see the car. Damn. But yeah, this car turns a lot of heads too, and that's also a plus, you know. And when I'm just cruising around in the town, I'll try to press it just a bit so the supercharger can scream like real loud, and you just see people turning their heads all the time because it's not something to hear every single day. So that always puts a smile on my face as well when you see people just turning their heads. I was going up the hill at the same speed while in manual, so it switched from manual into automatic by itself. It killed the revs right before I went and pushed the gas pedal so that they can hear it. Moving on to another thing I really love about this car, and that is how easy Dodge made it to work on this car. It's amazing how simple they made the engine bay, and I'll try to do some rollover, so I'll try to put some video while I'm talking about this. But most things are easily accessible for such a big engine, right? It takes up most of the engine compartment, and they were able to fit almost every single thing of comfortability, like power steering, AC, and all that, right? And you know, that's basic, right? But they made it so that anyone like me could work on this car without having too much problems. And even when you go under the engine bay and you start working on those type of things under the engine bay, everything is really simple. Changing the oil is simple, resetting the life, you know, and just everything is accessible, right? So if you want to upgrade your car, put some bolt-ons, or you know, change some things in the car, it's really easy, right? They made it so that any average Joe like me could just work in this car without having any issues. And yeah, you know, I still have to look up at guides on how to do things, because it's not like I'm a certified mechanic, right? I'm learning everything about this car as I go. It's not like it's all just simple and I can just do everything without having to look at a handbook or some instructions. But my point is that I can work on everything without being trained in being a mechanic, right? So that is something that I really love about this car, and it's one of the big reasons also why I got this car, because I always dreamed about being able to work and build my own car, and that is what I plan on doing with this car in the future. I barely ever take it to the mechanics. The only time it's ever in a shop is if, you know, I have any warranty issues or something breaks with the car that is under warranty, so I can just go and get it replaced for free and have it worked on for free, rather than, you know, having to go to a mechanic and paying for it out of pocket. But yeah, you know, going back to what I was saying before, it's really one of a kind. And you know, I've seen other engine bays and they always feel like really cluttered. You see cables going everywhere, and it's not the best, you know. It's not like the pinnacle of a car that you're able to work on, but it really is different. It really feels like you're able to access everything, and if you were able to do it yourself, it's all made simple. And that's just, you know, it's really unique. I've seen Mustang engine bays. My brother used to have a Camaro. It was a V6, so you know, it wasn't that big of an engine, but it's still pretty comparable. And for this engine being a V8 with a big supercharger on top, it still doesn't feel as cluttered as other engine bays like a BMW or a Mercedes or those type of engine bays. Even like regular small engine cars like Hondas and all that, they're not as cluttered, but you know, they still have things just going everywhere, all over the place, and they feel like they are made so that you're not able to work on them. And I really don't like that about those type of cars, because I love working on my own cars, and I want to get all the experience that I can before they try and rule out all internal combustion engine cars. So hopefully this is not a trend that is stopped. I just saw the new unveiling of the next Charger Daytona and the Banshee, and I hope, you know, it looks like a really good car, and I love the way Dodge does things, so I hope they don't disappoint me, and I will put out an order for that car. So we'll see if I'm able to get it, and we'll see if they put their money where their mouth is and they deliver the car that they're promising that they're going to deliver. And the last thing I really love about this car is how versatile it is, whether it comes to how easy it is to change from eco mode, from feeling like a regular sedan, or not a sedan, a regular car that, you know, is really comfortable and just rides really smooth and has pretty much all the features that you need to ride comfortably. It has cooled seats, heated seats, it has really good AC, a really good stereo system, the hardened carbon radio system. I don't really know how to say that, but it has a really good stereo system, you know, and doesn't have to be just versatility in the car itself. The mod market is like widely available. There's a lot of mods, there's a lot of flexibility that I have when I'm looking through power mods. There's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of things I can go with. I can go with the, what's it called, I forgot the name of it right now, but I'm having a brain fart. But it's the kit that is a twin turbo that feeds the supercharger, and then the supercharger feeds the engine itself, and I forgot the name of it, but you know, I can go with that. I can go with a bigger blower. I can go just remove the blower itself and add some turbos, which I don't want to do because I love the supercharger wine. You know, there's a lot of versatility, there's a lot of aftermarket for it, and just in the car itself, there's a lot that you can do when it comes to comfort and drivability, and it's really customizable to how you want to drive the car every day. And I'm pretty sure I showed you guys how quick it is to change from eco mode to drag mode and track mode. So, you know, that's another thing I really love about this car. They really made it so that you can just, you know, do whatever your heart pleases with the car. And yes, every car has the comfort mode, the eco mode, and then the sport mode button, which you can just tap. But you know, you can't really change the horsepower, you can't really change you can't really, I guess you could change the steering wheel and a bunch of other stuff, but the main thing I guess would be the horsepower, which it's really crazy how much of a difference 500 horsepower makes against 800 horsepower. But yeah, that is the last thing I want to talk about in this video. I will definitely make another video where I'm talking about 5 more things that I love about this car, and you know, I'll try to be more concise, better with my explanations. And you know, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope it was informative. And if you are looking to buy one, I hope that I convinced you that this is not a purchase that you're going to regret, and you should go and buy it, because it is something that I feel like a lot of people have to experience. Just driving the car, just experiencing the car, you know. It's something very unique, and if you can, just try and experience it however you can. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.